start?
Yes.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. Inshallah, we're going to start a new series explaining the 40 hadith of Nawawi, rahimahullah. First, of course, inshallah, we're going to have a little introduction about the writer himself, and then the book, and then inshallah we'll start with the first hadith. So, Bismillah. Nawawi, he is Abu Zakaria Yahya bin Sharaf bin Muhyiddin Nawawi. Nawawi comes from the word Nawa, which is the city he comes from in southern Syria now, near Dar'a, southern Damascus. And he was born in 631 Hijri and died in 676. So he only lived for 45 years. He was a very prominent, famous scholar at his time and indeed of all times. And he composed many books, many of which are in fact very famous. And probably most famous is Riyadh al-Salihin. Riyadh al-Salihin, probably you can't have any library or a house of Muslims that doesn't have this book, which is indeed a very good book, alhamdulillah. Also he has Al-Minhaj, which is an explanation of Sahih Muslim, rahimahullah. And of course he has also, this is a very famous book as well, the 40 hadith of Nawawi. So inshallah we're going to talk about this book now. Al-Arba'in al-Nawawiyya. Al-Arba'in, which means 40, but in fact it's not 40. It is 42. And it is one of the habits of Arabs is to delete the little fractions. So it is 42 hadiths, but still we call it 40. It's like, for example, the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. We say we need to fast the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, although they are not 10 in fact. They are only 9. You can't fast the 10th. The 10th is Eid. It's haram to fast. But still we call it the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, although it's only 9. So Arabs have this habit of, you know, coming to the normal numbers rather than going for fractions. So Al-Arba'in Nawawiyya. Originally, the idea of having such a book containing this specific number of hadith is they have hadith. They think it is hadith, although it is a weak for many scholars, and including Nawawi himself, that this hadith is weak. That the Prophet ﷺ said that, you know, it is excellent, or it has a great virtue that a Muslim should memorize 40 hadiths. But all the scholars of hadith, they know that this hadith is weak, although it has different narrations. So Al-Hafidh Ibn Salah, Abu Amr Ibn Salah, who is also one of the most prominent scholars of hadith, started a book with 26 hadiths. And then Nawawi himself came later and added 16. Added 16 hadiths that, and now we have this 42 hadiths of Nawawi. And then Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali came later, who is said to have explained the 40 Nawawi hadith the best way of all the scholars, because he added 8 hadiths. Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali added 8 hadiths to these 42 and made them 50, and then he explained all of them in his famous book also, Jami' al-Ulumi wal-Hikam. It is a very nice book, very good book to read. Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. And indeed it is a very rich book. Of course, Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali himself noted that not all the hadiths in the 40 Nawawi hadiths are completely sahih or authentic. This might be a shock for some people, but this is the way it is. Not all the hadiths of the 40 hadiths are authentic. I mean, agreed upon as authentic. We have 28 hadiths from Bukhari and Muslim. These are correct, these are authentic. But we have others, we have few of them which are not really authentic. And this is even noted by Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali himself, and even other students of knowledge noted that as well. So this is Arba'in al-Arba'in Nawawiyya. Started with the so-called hadith. It's not really a hadith, and then the scholars of hadith started to write this type of books of 40 hadiths or so. It is very good for each of us as Muslims, even we don't have to be students of knowledge, to memorize these hadiths, all of them. Memorize them, understand them, and of course act upon them. It's not really that hard if we take them easy. And most students of knowledge, especially those who study hadith, start with this book because it is very simple, direct. And another feature of this book is that it's not only in one direction. It's not only in one direction. For example, it doesn't deal only with fiqh. It doesn't deal only with aqidah. It doesn't deal only with akhlaq, with manners. It deals with all of these things. So in one hadith we find something completely technical about fiqh and these cases of fiqh. And in another hadith you find it about manners and morals, spirituality. And then other hadiths about aqidah. And then about the pillars of Islam. And so on. So it is very versatile in various subjects. So this is also one of the things that's why many scholars cared so much about having this book to explain. Now, we come to start with the first hadith. A very, very well-known hadith, probably every Muslim knows that. Of course, at least they know the first sentence. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Of course, this is only the first sentence. It has a complement. This hadith was reported by Umar radiallahu anhu. So the hadith goes عن أمير المؤمنين, because the Nawawi rahimahullah does not include the whole chain of reporters. He only includes the Sahabi, so that it doesn't bother the students to memorize the whole chain. You just need to know the Sahabi and then the hadith. عن أمير المؤمنين, on the authority of the Prince of Believers, the Commander of Believers, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Omar bin Al-Khattab. Omar bin Al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. May Allah be pleased with him. قال, he said, Umar, سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I heard. And the word heard is very important here, because in the terminology of hadith, mustalah al-hadith, the word سمعت, I heard, is the highest level of narration, is the highest level of reporting. So when you say I heard, it's higher than حدثنا, which means someone talked to us or someone told us. And of course it's much, much higher than عن, which we call عن Ahmad, عن Ali, عن so and so. This is the highest form of reporting when you say سمعت. سمعت, which means that you did not have any mediator between you and the Prophet ﷺ. You heard it directly from him. So سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, I heard the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم say, يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات. Actions are but by intentions. إنما. إنما, rhetorically speaking, in Arabic, we use it when we want to indicate exclusivity. إنما means it's only for this purpose, or it's only included in this sign. إنما الأعمال بالنيات means actions are only judged or estimated according to their intention, according to their niyyah. وإنما again وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى, and it is only for what you intend. It's for each person, it's only what he intends. Which means that actions are judged by the intention, and the thawab, the ajr, the reward of this action, whatever it is measured by the niyyah. So thawab, in the second sentence, means that thawab comes in proportion with the niyyah. The more you are loyal and sincere in your intention, the more ajr you will have in this life and in the hereafter. فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So, whose migration, hijrah, was for Allah and His Messenger. فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Then his migration for Allah and His Messenger. وَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا. And whose migration was for some worldly matters to get. أَوْ امْرَأَةٍ يَنْكِحُهَا. Or for some woman to marry. Then his migration is for whatever he migrated for. This is the translation of that. And this hadith was narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. We'll come to this. Migration, hijrah. Hijrah, generally, linguistically, means to abandon. Hajartu zawjati, I abandoned my wife. Technically, hijrah, it means that to leave the place, the abode of shirk or kufr, to the abode, to the place of iman. This is the technical meaning of hijrah. And this is what happened with the Muslims in the beginning when they left Mecca for Ethiopia, for Habasha, and they left also later, and the Prophet ﷺ himself left Mecca to Medina.